Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis call, and this is for trading on August 29th, 2019. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So in terms of the data here, not much um, important data. We did have crude oil inventories, and we saw a larger draw than expected here. Coming up, though, excuse me, coming up here, we have New Zealand dollar data, business confidence numbers, and then Australian data, private capital expenditures. So the data out of Australia and New Zealand hasn't been all that great. And of course, we have seen the central banks actually cut rates for both the countries. So overall, Australian dollar and New Zealand dollars have been weak. So if we see more negative data coming out of them, then it would be negative for both of those currencies, because then we're looking at essentially additional interest rate cuts from both of those central banks. We also have consumer confidence numbers out of Japan here that will have an impact on Japanese yen as well. So coming up on Thursday here, now we are coming towards our month end here. So just do keep that in mind, because we do see some flows, positions being closed towards the end of the month. So keep that in mind. We have a ton of data coming out on Thursday here. CPI numbers out of the Eurozone. We have a preliminary GDP number for US, and we have current account, which is like our trade balance number for Canada. So these will be important numbers here, but nothing that is critical in terms of the data here, but there is a ton of it. And especially here being in the last week of August here, our liquidity is still low. A lot of people are away, a lot of traders are away. So there aren't that many players in the market currently. So do keep that in mind, which means a market can move or markets can have bigger moves than we would normally see. So with this one here, Australia, we have building approvals. But other than that, we do have to pay attention to what's going on in regards to the Brexit here. We got comments, it was yesterday, I believe, we got comments where the parties are willing to work together in order to avoid the no deal Brexit. Those kind of comments are positive for British pound. If we see more of those, then we are likely to see British pound go up as well. On the other hand, we have to stay on top of what's going on with US-China trade relations. And over the last few weeks, we have seen that they may be trying to work something out, but there are tariffs that are coming into play, or that are supposed to come into play on September the 3rd, so beginning of September here. So keep an eye out for any comments in regards to that. If those tariffs do go into play, it could have a negative impact on Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar equities markets, on oil. But if they get pushed back, that would be good for the equity markets and bad for Japanese yen, Swiss franc, and good for Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, and Canadian dollar. So keep those relationships in mind as we are trading. All right, so let's go on to the charts now. So we'll start off by taking a look at our euro dollar. As we can see, euro has been trading in this range here. Price hasn't really done much, just gone back and forth here. So over the last few days, we have seen price drop. But as we can see, very, very small moves here. And right now, we do have a bearish candle close for today. So we have a bearish candle here. However, not a whole lot of move. So at this point, I am looking for price to drop here. So first target is 1.1060, then 1.10 and it could go all the way into 1.1025 level here. So overall bias here is bearish, but we could see price slowing down here. So looking for a potential pullback into 1.1090 or 1.1100 level there. So look for a pullback and then looking for a drop here. So bias is bearish for euro dollar. Pound dollar here, this one has also been trading in this range. We have just seen price go back and forth here. This one is getting impacted by Brexit comments. So again, keep an eye on the news and see what kind of comments come up. But today we have a bearish candle close. So price has been trading in a range here. It hasn't been able to go through the top of the range. So here I'm looking for price to drop. In terms of the pullback, we could get a pullback into 1.2250 here and then a drop. So bias is bearish, looking for a bit of a pullback and then price to drop. Now we do need to see it hold below 1.2180 for it to continue further. That's the type of move I'm looking for here. So bearish bias here for pound dollar. First target is 1.2180 and then 1.2100 back into the bottom of this candle here, and then it could go further. But for now, bias is bearish for pound dollar. Aussie dollar here, this one's looking bearish. We have a bearish candle close here, and we see that price is slowly making lower highs here. So the pressure is to the downside here for Aussie dollar here. So bearish bias here, potential pullback into 0.6750 or 55 potentially, and then looking for a drop. Target is 0.6680, so bias is bearish for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar here, this is bearish as well. We see that price has dropped here. So looking for it to drop further. And right now we do need to zoom out a fair bit here as price has moved down here into multi-year lows. But bias is still to the downside based on our daily candle close and looking for it to drop further. First target is 0.6280, then 0.6240. So a bias is bearish here. Dollar CAD here, this one's been range bound at the moment. We did see price drop, but it got pulled back up here. So it's been trading in a range at the moment. So for this one, we do have a bullish candle close. So price could go towards the high of the range here, towards 1.3350. So bias is bullish. However, it is into resistance here as well. So price hasn't broken this high here at 1.3320. So it could drop from there, or it could pull back a little bit more. So we could see a drop like this, or we could see price go all the way into 1.3350 and then drop from there. So right now, price is range bound. So my bias here is neutral. I think this one could go in either direction, but the daily candle here is bullish. What I don't like about this is that we are right into resistance. So I'm not hugely bullish on this because I think we are getting closer to a turn here. So price could drop. So watch out for that. So neutral bias for dollar CAD. Silver here. Silver is bullish. So we are bullish for today. Bias is bullish. Now we are coming into some important resistance levels that we haven't seen since 2017. So just be careful when we get into these large levels. We can have orders sitting there that could push the market in the other direction. Sometimes there are stops there that could get triggered, and it could cause this larger move in that direction before it drops. So it's important to keep that in mind and be careful at this level. So for now, though, bias is bullish and looking for price to go higher. excuse me, the important thing here would be to see if it goes to test the high at 18.50. If it doesn't go through, then we could see a move lower. However, bias is bullish. If it breaks the high, I'm looking for it to go to the next level at 18.65. So for now, bullish bias. First target would be 18.50, then 18.65 here for silver. Gold here, gold is neutral. It's just been trading sideways here. And today's candle has some bearishness in it. So this one could drop back towards the bottom here, support level at 1525.65 here. So I would say neutral bias here. What I would watch out for is if price goes into the support level, and then we have to see, does it hold above? If it holds above, then chances are it's going to go higher because it would have done a retest at this point. And if it holds above the retest area, then usually price goes higher. So for now, I'm looking for a drop towards the bottom of the range here at 1525. And then if it holds above, then I will look for a move higher. So looking for a bit of a drop here for gold towards 1525, and then pushing, looking for push all the way into 1550. Oil here, oil looks weak here. We did have a bullish move higher, but now we are into resistance. So this is a support resistance where price has tested this level before. And as we can see, price has reacted at this level multiple times. So with this one, we do have a pin bar. We could get a retest higher, even towards the top of this range here or the top of the candle, and then looking for price to drop from there. So bias here is bearish, and we could see price drop from here. In terms of the target here, the first target would be 54.80, and then we're looking for price to come back down towards 53.50, and then 52.80. So for now, though, I'm looking for price to drop, and target here will be 54.80 and then 53.50. So bearish bias for oil. Copper. Copper today has had a bit of a bullish move here. Not very strong. Not a very strong move here, but it has moved up. And now the question will be, what do we do? We are kind of stuck into resistance here. Price is into resistance at 2.52. If it holds below, then we're likely to see a move to the downside here. So bias is neutral here. Because it did not close above today's or previous day's highs, yesterday's high, this one is more of a neutral, and I think this one could turn here, but we have to see how price reacts at the high. So I will look for a move back into 2.52, and then looking for a bit of a drop from there towards 2.548, sorry. So neutral bias for copper. Bitcoin here, Bitcoin has dropped, nice drop today. So looking for price to drop further, bearish bias here. And we could get a pullback here towards 98.80, and then looking for a price to come back down towards 90.60 level. So 9,060. Bias is bearish here for Bitcoin. S&P 500, this one is also range bound at the moment. It's been trading sideways here. Looks like everyone's waiting to see what happens with those tariffs that are supposed to come into play first week of September. So as such, everything is sideways. There is a bullish candle close, so it could go higher. However, it is into resistance right here. So my bias is neutral here. If price does not break today's high, so I will look for a retest of 28.90. If it doesn't go through, I'm looking for a drop back towards the support here at 28.20. So bias is neutral, but I would pay special attention to this 2890 area. If it stays below, I'm looking for it to drop. If it does go through, then I'm looking for it to go towards the high of the range here. But where it is currently is very important. So bias here is neutral for S&P 500. NASDAQ here, this one is a neutral candle close. It did drop, but then it has pulled back up. Now, price is again into support resistance here. So we could see price go higher to test the previous pin here at 76.37. So a bit of a bullish push here. But if it doesn't go through this 76, let's say 40 area, then we could see a drop. So this one is neutral as well, but it does have some bullishness, so it could move higher. Just keep in mind that we are very close to the resistance, so things could turn around here. DAX here, DAX hasn't really done much. Again, this is also range bound, so this one could go higher again. So first target here would be 11,770, then 11,850. So this one's neutral as well. FTSE here, FTSE's moved back a bit here. So we have a bullish candle close, but so a bit of a bullish candle close here. So this one is bullish, I would say. I'm looking for price to go towards 71.50, and if it's still strong, it could go towards the high of this one. So first target here will be 71.50, and then potentially 72.20. But keep in mind that this one could also turn right at this support resistance, because this would be a retest of this level here. So just be careful with that level. So 71.50 is the first target here for FTSE. Last but not least, we have Nikkei here. Nikkei's also gone sideways for the last 3 weeks, really. We just haven't seen much of a move here. And again, as you will notice here, we are into support resistance level here. So if price does not break through or hold above 20,570 level, then we're likely to see this drop here. So for now, bias is neutral for Nikkei as well. All right, so that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.